Since the mid-80s, the Metro 6R4 has thrilled rally fans with its raucous engine note. A noise that, like the Gr.B DA engine that preceded it, made it instantly recognisable. And now, over a decade later, the car is still capable of winning rallies outright. The Metro's international career started with the 1985 RAC rally, and a thrilling debut it was for the works drivers Tony Pond and Malcolm Wilson. After the usual first day's messing about, and with the cars about to undertake the serious stages, Tony Pond was his usual phlegmatic self.
The car's going great.
What sort of position are you at the moment?
I think 8th, something like that. It's just where we wanted to be, really.
And how do you see the next few days progressing?
Oh, I wish I could tell you, but it should be all right. At that pace, that's about what we want to do, really.
So you're pleased with the debut of the Metro in the RAC?
Yes, it's certainly on the pace of the other cars and without trying too hard at all. So.
Do you think that once you get into Wales you can see things progressing a bit more?
We hope so. The Forest is another story. We've played with the silly stuff now, so now we get into the proper meat of the rally. We'll see what we do there.
You think the Metro, therefore, is in with the chance of outperforming in the Forests?
It's certainly well on the pace, and I think we can make it outperform if we want to, but it's too early to do any of that.
The mid-80s had seen the emergence of the rally supercar, and with the Audi Quattro, Ford's RS200, the Peugeot 205 T16 and the Lancia Delta, rally fans were to be treated to one of the most spectacular periods in rallying history. Unlike the other supercars though, the Metro was neither turbocharged or supercharged, although it was of course four-wheel drive. Importantly for Austin Rover, the Metro was homologated before Ford's RS200, and as such was able to better exploit the publicity of its great RAC result. Because of this, the Metro crews were able to start the 1986 British Championship full of confidence. The main drivers for the season were to be the vastly experienced and multi-championship winning Scotsman Jimmy McRae and the less experienced Welshman David Llewellyn. For the first round of the championship, the National Breakdown Rally, the conditions couldn't have been worse. So was the old campaigner impressed?
Diabolical, and it's a new car and it's a different concept altogether. I'm afraid I'm not very brave at the moment. We've had problems with the windscreen steaming up, the steering's a bit tight, but we're just trying to get experience with the car.
Somewhat surprisingly, it was Llewellyn who was making a better show of things, and he was even challenging Hannu Mikkola for the lead. Here at Croft, even the four-wheel drive cars were struggling for grip, although that could be something to do with the enormous power that they had. McRae continued to struggle, although Llewellyn's second overall was probably better than he could have hoped for. And when it came to the Circuit of Ireland rally, McRae was expected to gain the upper hand on his young upstart fellow Metro driver. But there was still time for a bit of fun round Boyd's Aerodrome. The Metro's major challenger throughout the 1986 British season was the Ford RS200. It has to be said that the RS200 was beautiful, where the Metro wasn't, but each car had its own band of fans. It wasn't long though before McRae was having fairly serious problems with his car's gearbox.
What's happened, Jim?
Oh, we've had gearbox, is big hole in the side of the box, we've only got second gear. So we're going to try and get through this stage and change it. We dropped about 3 minutes in the last stage.
12:37. So you're well in the field?
I'm afraid so.
Sounds terminal.
It's, if we get through this we could change it, but I don't know whether it'll make it or not. There's only second gear and it's making a hell of a noise.
So you've no oil in the box at all?
We've managed to put some in ourselves there, so hopefully it'll keep going. The hole's halfway up the box, so there is some oil in it. But there's obviously lots of teeth and things floating about the box.
David Llewellyn though was having no such problems and soon found himself in the lead. McRae surprisingly wasn't out of the event at all and continued, albeit a long way down the field. The Metros were a tremendous sight over the Irish roads, and at the end of the rally, David Llewellyn had given the car and himself a first international victory. On the Welsh rally, Llewellyn might have been expected to go just as well, but a little bit of over-exuberance was to get the better of him. By now, Austin Rover were beginning to realise that the RS200 was to provide a tougher challenge than they might have expected, as despite an alarming tendency to use gearboxes quicker than other cars use tyres, Mark Lovell's car was quickly picking up the points with some steady performances. At night service, David Llewellyn was able to talk about his rally so far.
Well, the rally started very well for us. We were about 45 seconds up on up to the end of the 7th stage, but then we had quite a fast spin and into a ditch on Epping, and we were very lucky actually to still be in the race. We ripped all the front end off and we broke a wheel, and we struggled on 3 wheels to the end of the stage, and in fact only dropped 45 seconds to Jimmy McRae. Lost the lead to him obviously, but I mean we were very lucky to get out of it.
With Audi now bringing its short wheelbase quattro to the party, British rally fans were treated to some truly spectacular rallying. The cars not only looked and sounded fantastic, but were extremely quick as well. Joining the regular drivers on the Scottish rally was Malcolm Wilson, fresh from his World Rally Championship exploits. And there were quite a few other new faces as well. All didn't go well on this rally though, as Metro after Metro retired with heat and dust related engine failure. And so it was Michael Sundstrom who came through to take the victory after a difficult season up to that point. Sundstrom was probably favourite for the Ulster Rally in some people's eyes, but Jimmy McRae had loads of experience of the Ulster roads and was still in with a chance of victory in the championship.
Well, I don't know about the best chance. There's still an awful lot of quick people around, but the car's good and we've got a softer compound tyre than we had in the SUSCRIBE Island, so hopefully we'll be right.
No problems with the engine this time?
No, the engine's good. We did an event in the Canaries and we had absolutely no problems at all, so I hope that that's going to continue.
As ever on the Ulster Rally, the pace was fast and furious, and the Metros of McRae and Llewellyn were challenged hard by the Peugeot of Sundstrom and Mark Lovell's RS200. It was McRae's victory though, and he was heading for the Isle of Man with a good chance of taking the championship.
Yeah, well, the last twice we've been here for the championship, we've won the championship. Everybody else had it to do, you know. Had a lead coming here, but this year it's the opposite. So we've just got to do our best.
Backing him up on the event was Tony Pond, out to help McRae's championship chances.
Well, I think if it transpires that we go against each other, you probably see both Metros retire and Jimmy lose the championship, which I don't think is the wise thing to do. I mean, the championship's within his grasp. I would think if he worries about fighting with me, then he could say goodbye to the championship. But I don't think he'll do that. I think he knows exactly what he wants to do, and to be the British Rally champion again, it's got to be the answer.
Tony Pond is possibly England's best ever rally driver, and he set out to prove it on the Isle of Man. McRae and Lovell were trailing Pond, but slugging it out for the championship. This despite the fact that Lovell had to have 6 new gearboxes throughout the course of the rally. Unfortunately, it all went wrong for McRae and he retired with mechanical failure. Michael Sundstrom was on the pace though, but then an all too common mistake bent the car slightly. This left Mark Lovell clear to take the championship for Ford, although Tony Pond took the rally victory. Having won 3 rounds of the British Championship, Austin Rover were looking forward to a good performance on the RAC rally, and huge crowds turned out to watch the last appearance of the supercars, as they had been banned from international events by the FIA from the end of the 1986 season. This meant that cars like the incredible Lancia Delta would never be seen again. There was the largest number of Metros ever seen on the rally, and they were an incredible sight. Meanwhile, there had also been an attack on the British National Championship as well. Alistair Sutherland finished up champion in his Metro. After their banning from international rally competition, The Metro then made its mark in Rallycross. Among the most productive of the Metro races was Will Gollop. Let's take a look at just some of the best races from the Metro's Rallycross career.
So we continue the action here, and John Welch making a good start. John, who didn't get a first run in yesterday when the front diff broke on that car. They brought it to the start line, but he didn't get in a time at all, and John Welch coming away, leading this one, I think. Yes, no, being taken there by the Metro 6R4 of Guy Williams. Guy coming all the way around the outside in the Century Plant enter. Guy Williams leads it. It's Stephen Palmer down in third place. A cracking drive there for the young man from Surrey. Guy Williams leads it. John trying to come on the inside. Can't do so at the moment. Going to do it. Yes, John Welch through on the inside. Guy Williams going with him. A bit of door handling as they go away. Down Harry Hill into Paddock Bend. Steve Palmer watching it happen in third place. Stephen Palmer sitting there in third place, the British champion. Stephen, of course, will be wanting to do well here today because remember, this is also the final of the Sherwood British Open Championship, which Steve Palmer would like to take victory in, as well as the British National Series, which he clinched here earlier this year. And Steve Palmer at the moment, though, being pushed down into third place as John Welch comes up, and John Welch it is in the lead with the unique 4x4 turbocharged Astra into the Devil's Elbow, flame pouring from the exhaust. Stephen Palmer trying to come through on the inside as Guy Williams goes a bit wide. Guy Williams, though, holding station, and I think as they go into the elbow, Guy Williams going to retain that second spot. He is, yes. Guy Williams still holding off Stephen Palmer. John Welch, the leader. Down into Chesson's was a lead which was held all the way around to the North Bend hairpin. It's being held here through Paddock, through the chicane, and back towards Chesson's Drift once again. Still John Welch leading it from Guy Williams. Stephen Palmer coming in, and this has got to be one of the best races we've seen of the weekend, and it's an all-British trio coming away. John Welch from Guy Williams from Stephen Palmer as they go down into the elbow once again, and yet any one of these three drivers could take this race. Still John Welch leading. Guy Williams trying to get that lead back. Stephen Palmer trying to come in and take second place, and then have a look at John Welch. He can't do so at the moment. The order's still the same. Guy Williams very sideways round the North Bend hairpin. They accelerate away down Harry Hill. The two normally aspirated 6R4s taking on the John Welch car, which of course has to carry a bit more weight than these normally aspirated devices behind him. So John at the moment perhaps with more power but a little bit more weight to drag around the Lytton circuit, but he's using that to good advantage as they come into Chessons, and it's still John Welch from Guy Williams. And can Guy go around the outside again the way he did on the first lap? Guy certainly having a look to go around the outside of Chessons. He gets alongside John Welch, but John holding him off as they come onto the Dover slope, and down it is indeed, almost a dead heat, but John Welch I think just getting it there. So the Formula A final coming up, and this one promises to be really something. We ride with Barry Scribb on board with the camera, and Will Gollop's coming away from pole position, and is Will Gollop going to be the leader here? And you can see Pat Duran. Oh, and Pat Duran in trouble under braking, and he's caused all manner of problems. Pat Duran losing it under braking there and causing mayhem as they went into that first corner. Will Gollop's car rolling back onto the track. We see a replay of it from on board with Barry Scribb, and you can see we had Pat Duran coming right across the bows of Barry Scribb, and indeed Barry Scribb, I think, in a lot of problems with his car, trying to get going again, pulling off onto the grass. As the rest of the field go away, it looks as though Barry Scribb, no, he has got going again. There is Pat Duran coming through with the bodywork all as straight. Pat Duran leading it. We've got John Maloney in second place, Dennis Bickerstaff, Rob Moffat, Dermot Carnegie, and we've got troubles there also for Guy Williams. Bodywork rubbing on the tyre, I would think. Surely this race is going to be stopped. There is Will Gollop still in the centre of the track, and they have indeed red flagged it. It has been red flagged. This then is the rerun of the A final, and it's Dermot Carnegie who's made a tremendous start. John Maloney challenging Will Gollop for second place, but I think Will might get that second spot as they accelerate away out of the first corner. Has he taken the lead? No, he hasn't. Dermot Carnegie's got it. Dermot from Will Gollop. So Will Gollop being headed for the first time in an A final, and despite the fact that we thought that Will Gollop was the reason for the red flag, he has been allowed in the restart. So Will Gollop still in the race. There goes Guy Williams. That's Rob Moffat looking over his shoulders to see where everyone is. Well, I think they're at the other end of the track, Rob. They're in front of you, not behind you. And there they come, and it is indeed Dermot Carnegie, the Dubliner, leading. John Maloney down in third place. Dennis Bickerstaff from Dromore in County Down is in fourth. So it's the Irish very strong here, with three cars in the first four, and headed by the total backed car of Dermot Carnegie, the Autotest ace from Ireland, who is now very much a rallycross ace as well. The All-Ireland champion, Dermot Carnegie, leads Will Gollop. And Will, at the moment, being really headed headed for the first time in an A final in the British Championship. He currently leads both Formula A category and the overall category with a maximum point score, but at the moment Dermot is trying to take that away from him, and Dermot doing it very effectively here at the moment. Dermot Carnegie still holding that advantage. John Maloney still third, Dennis Biggerstaff fourth. So Carnegie still holding him, and the crowd here at Mondello Park are absolutely on their toes with excitement because they can see that Will Gollop has been headed, and they're loving every minute of it because it's their local hero from Dublin, just down the road. Dermot Carnegie, the man who leads here on the County Kildare circuit. The County Kildare Motor Club organises this event in fine style as Will Gollop goes up to take the lead. Will Gollop leads it. And suddenly the crowd quietened down a little bit. Dermot hanging on though in second place. Big John Maloney, the conditions out there which are now fairly slippery, and each and every one of them thinking that perhaps a place in the super final is fairly secure for them. Not least of all Will Gollop, and Will coming on to complete his domination of the Formula A category in the British Series. Former Mondello champion there, John Maloney, goes through with third spot. But it's Will Gollop, and Will Gollop at the flag takes that one.
The final round of the season at Croft. Will Gollop is already champion, but the runners-up place has still to be decided, and it's between Barry Squibb and Steve Palmer.
Away in the lead, and Will Connect only third. Will Gollop down in third. Is Barry Squibb leading it from Steve Palmer. Then comes Dennis Biggerstaff and Mike Dresser. Oh, hey, what a great start there from Barry Squibb. And all of this action, I would imagine, being watched with a certain amount of envy by John Welch, who has non-started the Vauxhall Astra here this afternoon because they just cannot get that car to fire up. A very, very mysterious electrical problem in the car. It cut out in the paddock last night, and they've worked through most of the night to change just about everything they can think of on the car, but no way can John get it to fire. So that's why he's not amongst us as a competitor, that's why he is a spectator, and he is watching a tremendous battle here, and a bit of a surprise because I think perhaps many people would have put these three cars in exactly the reverse order at the end of the first lap. Barry Squibb leads it from Stephen Palmer. Will Gollop having a look. Will Gollop having a look. I wonder, is Will playing a waiting game? Is Will, knowing that he's won the championship, allowing these other two drivers to go away and race between themselves to decide which of them will become runner-up to him in Formula A in the British Championship? Is he? Or is he just conserving his car for that classic encounter we're looking forward to very shortly at Linden Hill with Martin Skanker? Whatever he's doing, he is in third place, and it is still Barry Squibb then leading it. A marvellous drive here from Barry Squibb. He really is on fine form this afternoon. Squibby cocks his heels over the shuttle curbs. He comes down into Checkers Corner. It is still the ever consistent Stephen Palmer right in his wake. Stephen with a newly rebuilt engine in there in the car, the new 3.8 Goodman's engine working very, very well indeed. He is staying with the turbocharged machines, but it is indeed Will Gollop regaining his effort there in third place, but they are certainly making him work very hard. You can see just how sideways Willie's getting there as he gets a little bit off the racing line. They're making him look on the outside to try and take this one, but he can't do it, and this is a tremendous A final, and it's still Barry Squibb from Stephen Palmer. They're all getting closer and closer as they come away out of the complex, and Will Gollop coming on the outside. Have a look, he'll never get through the shuttle, surely like this he will. Oh my heavens, what a brave manoeuvre, and Stephen Palmer trips over his bodywork there as he hits some tyres amidst all that. Dennis Biggerstaff, and still we can see in fourth place. There goes Stephen Palmer, his bodywork damaged there, I think, by the course marking tyres, thrown off his line a little bit, but what a manoeuvre there from Will Gollop, which has taken him through into the lead. But Barry Squibb is in second place, and Barry, I think, is going to do enough here this afternoon to take the runners-up spot in Formula A in the British Championship behind Will Gollop. And I'm sure, although he would have loved to have won it, Barry's thinking to himself, well, I've been beaten by potentially the quickest car in Europe. But more action then coming from Division 2, and it is Hans de Klaas making a good run. No, it's not, I do beg your pardon. That was in second place Stephen Palmer, but it's the bi-turbo of Bengt Vickland who's gone into the lead. Bengt Vickland leads, but not for much longer. Stephen Palmer coming through to challenge. They are side by side, and exits Steve Palmer. Steve spinning off with the Carglass Dynetics car onto the infield, and now it's Guy Williams surely coming up to challenge the bi-turbo of the Swede. In third place is indeed Hans de Klaas from the Netherlands. Those three cars well clear now. So it's Sweden, and it's the Dagfinn Larsson prepared bi-turbo V6 engine in the 6R4 of the determined little Swede. Bengt Wiklund leading from new boy here in the UK, Guy Williams. There goes Jos Sturkins through with the 4x4 Turbo Fiesta. But up front, it's all Guy Williams putting pressure onto Bengt Wiklund. And Guy giving away a lot of brake horsepower to the Swedish driver. But this young man, ex-motocross rider, and has come fine form into the British scene now, jumping straight from Formula C, where he was very quick with the Fiesta, into the Division 2 category here, and as I said, making noises of a full European Championship encounter in 1992. That's going to be a really good run, I feel, for Guy Williams, and indeed he's having a good run here at the moment. The Century Plant car, though, cocking its heels over Mads Bank, and very lucky not to get contact there with the chicane, but the young lad from Cranley in Surrey recovering very, very quickly indeed, but it's given Bengt Wiklund now a fairly comfortable advantage up front. So Bengt Wiklund it is, left-hand drive, 6R4 through the Devil's Elbow. Guy Williams in hot pursuit, trying to recover from that moment in that still very slippery paddock bend. Tyre choice has been very, very critical in these second qualifying heats, because as you can see, the tarmac is indeed very dry as we watch the recovering Steve Palmer there coming up to get past Belgian driver Jos Sturkins with the 4x4 Turbo Fiesta. And Jos, who's had a lot of engine problems with that car, telling me he's moving over to a Jeff Page East Coast Racing engine for 1992. But there goes troubles for our leader. Oh, and Guy Williams just touching the front as he goes past. But Guy Williams goes into the lead. Guy Williams now leading. The bodywork you can see flailing on the car. And Guy coming out and drives in the back. Oh, and Guy Williams in trouble. And he's knocked the wheel off. You can see one of Guy's wheels going over the line. But I think Guy himself had indeed crossed the finish line first. And Guy Williams, we see a replay of it, nudging the end of the tyre wall, hits the bank, and there obligingly the marshal shows him the checkered flag. And yes, Guy Williams does just get the victory.
Will Gollop.
And even for Will Gollop, things didn't always go according to plan.
These two great drivers makes the best start.
Oh, and again a brilliant start from Skanker, but a terrible start from Will Gollop. Will makes a terrible start. He has to win here today to keep his European Championship alight, and he's coming through to have a look for second place. Will Gollop going round the outside of Pat Duran, or at least trying to. Oh, and a bit of contact there between. Oh, and Will Gollop. Oh, he's been caught by Gary Baker. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And the Will Gollop car catches fire. Will's car on fire. The marshals, the brilliant Lyndon marshals on the scene so quickly, helping Will out of the car. Oh dear, oh dear. Well,
Fortunately for Will, the car is inherently strong, and as Stephen Price's car showed after its accident on the 1996 Manx National Rally, there was no real need for the FIA to ban them because they were too dangerous. This car hit the bank at almost 90 miles an hour, and the cockpit area remained largely intact. In the 90s, the car still continues to win rallies, and Stephen Price's father, John, is one of the men who keeps winning in the car. In Scotland, Metros dominated the 1996 championship with cars driven by Jimmy Christie and Andy Horn. If the car does have a problem, it's in its actual construction and the heat generated inside the cockpit, which makes it very difficult for the crews in extremely hot weather, as Tony Davis explained to us on the 1996 Morganag Rally.
It's too hot for this car, and the dust is getting in and it dries you up halfway through. We need some of these IndyCar water bottles, I think.
Yeah. I think we do when we're filming. It's horrible.
Well, I'll swap you.
Well, Stephen Price said it's an awful car when it gets hot, and the dust just comes in through all the holes, doesn't it?
Yeah, the dust comes in, but you just wouldn't believe the temperature in there.
You're virtually sitting on the engine, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. There's this little film of perspex.
Yeah.
Well, it must be, I don't know, it must be 80 out here. Yeah. It's probably 180 in there.
Really?
Oh, it's terrible.
The 90s have also seen the development of a different type of Metro, with these models being developed especially for tarmac rallying. and because of this they were finding life hard on the mixed stages of the 1995 London Rally. Let's finish this video by taking a long look at the Metro's rallying career over the past 12 years.